Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to Mystery Monday, live here from my craft room. Finally in here. My name is Lucia Visentin, and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're catching me here on Facebook or the replay, or you can actually hop onto YouTube as well tomorrow, and it will all be there. But yes, a little bit excited that I am actually here in my craft room, which is a nice change. So carpet went in on Tuesday of last week, and I was able to move in over the week. So I had lots of help from family, helping me move all the furniture that was behind me last week that you saw. Hello Fiona, yeah, definitely back home, loving this. And now I'm slowly bringing everything back in from out the back in the studio. I didn't realise quite how much stuff I had taken out there, so you do end up with quite a lot of crafting things, just bits and pieces. It's unreal. Anyway, but it's all nice and organised now, which is lovely. Yeah, definitely back in my favourite spot. Anisha, hello Vicky, how are you? Hi Glenda. So just a couple of things I wanted to tell you about. I have got paper shares going out. I still do have another one spare, so if anyone would like to join in, please feel free, let me know. The paper share was $70 for a taster of all of the papers in the new catalogue and some of the online exclusives. When I say a taster, it's actually 12 inches by 6 inches. So it is a quarter share that you're getting, which is a nice amount. And it just gives you enough to play with to see if that is something that you would like to purchase as well then. Good evening, Anne. And the other thing I did want to say is I still do have a couple of places for my retreat, which is on the 14th of June. So if anyone is interested and is able to make it for that day, it will be here. It will actually be downstairs here now as well, which will be wonderful. So that is using this suite I'm using tonight as well. So you'll get to see the suite now also. And that is $145, and that's a whole day. You do get over $75 worth of products as well included in that also. So what we might do is turn around and get started, and I'll show you what we're doing. We will be doing a fancy fold tonight as well. So let's turn around. And just get a little bit closer. Alrighty. Okay, so the suite that we're using is, and I have used it before because I do really like this suite. It is the Beautiful Gallery suite. It is a mega bundle. Hello Kim, hello Lisa and Glenda. I think I said hello before. And hello Jenny, she must be here as well somewhere. And mega sweet. So you've got the 2 stamp sets, the 2 dies. There are other bits and pieces. So you've got embellishments, ribbon, and embossing folder, and the gorgeous, gorgeous papers. So the papers are actually 6 by 6 inches, which is 15.2 by 15.2 centimetres, and they are just gorgeous. They are so beautiful to play with, and I will show you. I'm actually going to show you one of the cards I've made first before we even get started, just so that you can see what I'm doing, because I know that there's at least one of you that is crafting along with us. So this is a card that I actually made on Friday night with Coastal Crafter, with Emma Goddard. So she has done this beautiful fold with us. Hello, Natalie. And this is how we did it with her on Friday night, but I have changed it up a little bit. I've even changed the measurements a little bit as well to fit the paper that I'm wanting to use tonight as well. So I've made it a little bit longer, and I'll show you why. Because the paper I'm using tonight is this one here. And I didn't want to lose any of this border in the paper because I did want the paper on the side. And as you can see, this is just a little bit longer than our regular size card. So the actual measurement of this base piece here is 20.3 centimetres long ways and 15.5 centimetres is the height of it. So it is a little bit higher than we would generally do. Okay, I'll pop that aside and I'll get the paper and I'll actually cut it in front of you as well so that you can see exactly what we're doing. And I'll just make sure that you can see what I am doing. Just going to move my mouse. Okay, so we have our paper here, and I'm going to cut it at 15.5 centimetres. So this is where you usually cut it at the halfway mark, but we are cutting it a little bit longer than halfway. And then the other way, it does have to be a little bit shorter. It is 20.3. So we'll go to 20.3 and just chop that little bit off the end. The reason why we're doing that is because we are going to, from now on, work in inches because it is just so much easier in inches. So once we have got to this point, we are going to score both ends. I'm just going to take my trimmer away. I'm going to score it at 2 inches. And then I'm going to score it at 6 inches. So we've just scored both ends of our cardstock there. Good evening, Helen, how are you? So now what I'm going to do is in between these two score lines, I am actually going to cut now, and I'm going to cut 1 inch from each edge. So I'm going to go 1 inch from that side, bring my scoring tool down. This is a little bit hard from when your camera is right in front of you. So 1 inch that way. And then we'll do the same on this side. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up my little marker here with my score line. Okay, so I'm going down and marking to my score line down here. Okay, so I now have 2 score lines at either end, and I've cut in between them both. Hello, Annette, how are you? So now we still have some scoring to do. So I'm going to get rid of my blade again, and I'm now going to score at 4 inches, but now I'm only scoring this little inch piece at both ends. So 4 inches is exactly halfway, and we're going to score, and just let me make sure I've got the right place, up there. So I've just scored between there. Now I'm coming to the bottom, and I'm just scoring that inch at the bottom. Okay, so we've got a little score line here and a score line here. Okay, now we can go back in again, and I'm scoring in 2 places this time at 3 and 5 inches, but I'm only scoring this middle section here where we've cut. Funny. So 3 and 5 inches. So 3 inches here, and I'm scoring from my cut line down to my cut line. And then we're going to go 5 inches. And again, I'm scoring from my cut line down to my cut line. So I don't know whether you can see that very well, but you've got scoring here, you've got scoring in here, and we've scored top and bottom as well. And then we've cut those two bits, top and bottom. Alrighty, so now I can get rid of trimmer. Pop him over there, and I will get my bone folder and we will burnish those. So we're going to burnish there. So we're folding those side bits into the middle. Okay, and then these bits get folded into mountains and mountains. So it's all mountains apart from the two side bits, which are valleys. Okay, so burnish. And burnish. Burnish and burnish. So just as long as they're all burnished. And that's what we end up with. Okay. So now let us decorate. So I am going to stick the designer series paper on first, and I've got a few little bits and pieces here as well. So with the designer series paper, I will show you what we've done, or what I've done. Oh, that must have been that way. So that has come from there. I think this has come from one of the sides. And then we've got these little bits here. Okay, so we've got these two side bits I have actually cut at, let's do it in centimetres because I'm so much better, at 4.7, and I've used the whole length of the paper. So I've cut from one side, and from the other side I've cut the two 4.7s so they can actually go on the ends there. And then all of these little bits here I've cut from the middle, and they are 2.2 by 4.7. And so these little bits, excuse me, will get stuck on these sides there. And this is what you've got left over. So out of that 6 by 6, there is not much waste at all. And I'm sure we could do something with those bits later as well. Not on this card, but probably for another card. So I will firstly stick these down. I hope everyone had a lovely weekend. We got a few jobs done around the house, as well as me moving in down here as well. So I think everyone here was busy over the weekend. Okay. So one side and the other. I'm just making sure I've got them both on the right side as well. Okay, and now we're just going to pop these little bits on these 4 sections, top and bottom. So has anyone that's not a demonstrator placed an order from the new catalogue? And what is everyone's favourite products from the new catalogue? I must admit this one here is definitely one of mine. I do need to buy some new things because I haven't got a lot from the new catalogue as yet. Colour cardstock is Mossy Meadow. The Mossy Meadow goes beautifully with these papers too. There's quite a few of them that tone in nicely with the Mossy Meadow. There's another beautiful floral as well that has got the Mossy Meadow as the background. Oh, which I've actually got a card made out of. I can show you later as well. I'll just turn him upside down so I can get to it easier. Oh, hello, Kim Fee. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. I was going to say it'd be nice and early in the morning over here instead of the evening. I hope you had a lovely birthday. It looked like you celebrated well, which is good. Okay. So, once all that is done, I have then also cut out another piece which is going to sit in the middle, and this one here is 4.7 by 10.2, which will get stuck in here. Okay, and I am going to do some stamping, and I've popped the stamp away, which was a bit silly. So here is the stamp. So this is Gallery Blooms, and I am going to use this long one here. And grab a block, which are just sitting in my drawer next to me, which is brilliant. Oh, never old. You are never old. But I'm glad you had a great birthday too. So I'm using Mossy Meadow ink as well. So I'm just going to ink that up. Now just tap ever so gently. And then I'm going to pop that, actually just get a little bit more ink on the top of that. We'll pop that over to one side, the top of it to one side at least. Just hold it there for a couple of seconds, let the ink absorb. And I will just quickly clean that stamp. Being photopolymer, you don't want to leave the ink there too long. Because it can stain, not so much with the greens and the blues, but you will find with the pinks it definitely does. Now I have done one of these earlier as well, so you'll get to see a little bit of what I've done, because I do need a couple of them, but I am going to stamp another one of these flowers. Didn't think you'd want to see me colour two of them in. So we'll pop this one here. And again, just leave it for a couple of seconds. Okay. And now that everything's dead slap bang in front of me, I can put things away as I go, which means I don't have quite so much to clean up when I come back down tomorrow morning, because often all of this stays here overnight, because I finish this off and I go straight upstairs. So what I'm going to do with this is I am colouring it, and I have got some blends to colour this. I was going to leave it just as it is. I have been stamping on the Very Vanilla as well. But there is actually a little bit of pink. Maybe not, but I feel there's a little bit of pink in the roses here. So I have actually got light petal pink and dark petal pink in the blends, and thought I would do just a little bit of colouring, but I mean a real little bit of colouring. So we're not going to even, I don't mind if there's a little bit of, it's not so much white space today, it's more ivory space, but if there's a little bit at the tops that are not coloured, that's fine. And it's probably nicer sometimes. It's a bit more natural looking, not to have everything completely coloured. And we'll just quickly go around that. And then I'm going to come in with the darker. Good evening, Renee. How are you? Lovely to see you. And I'm just going to put in a little bit of the dark. And I'm basically going where the stamp has got those lines on it. And you know that those bits are a little bit darker there anyway. Now I could have let my, probably my stamp dry a little bit more as well, because you do see that it does spread a little bit, but that's not too bad, and I don't really mind at all either. So we will let that be. I will grab my mini cut and emboss, and I did actually have to purchase a couple of new cutting plates because my other ones are just awful. Now let's get my little new ones out and pop that in the bin. So I actually use my cutting plate 3, my base plate 3. When I do it, it's a little bit thinner and things tend to go through a little bit easier with that one. And I do have a die here somewhere. Here we go. I am going to cut these off though, because otherwise my that will be a little bit too large to fit through, I think, because you can only fit things that are a little bit under 9 centimetres, I think, through this one. Let's say 8.5 even. So I have got some bits of tape here as well, because I'm sure these will be nice and slippery now because they're so new. Nothing will hold much. So 1 and 2. Actually, let's put him around the other way so it all cuts. And put him through. And when you're using new plates, don't stress about marking them, because that is what happens. I know I have had some customers sometimes that are new to the cut and emboss machine and have fretted a little when they've seen that, thinking that they have wrecked their plates, but you've not wrecked them. That is just the way it is, because you are cutting on them, and these dies do have those little blades, not blades, but they do cut, obviously. So we'll mark, and we'll pop this one through. Hold him up, and like I said, everything is literally right in front of me, so I can just pop everything right away. So I'm hoping this will give me a clearer desk now. We'll see how long it lasts for, or how long me putting things away lasts for, more to the point. So I've got those 2 little bits there, which I'm wanting to put at the bottom. Now, one thing we do have to be careful of with this card, because it opens up this way and this little mechanism here is sliding against the middle piece, we don't want anything overhanging down the top or the bottom, because it may get caught. So when we are fiddling with this, just make sure that we stay nice and low. And I am going to chop this one up just a little bit as well. So we've got the 2 flowers here, so I'm going to cut one of them away. Oh, sorry, I need to take my glasses off. So I'm cutting quite close to the edge of the flower when I do this. And then cutting out a little bit. Okay, and I might even just cut off might cut off some of the leaves from here as well. Okay, so these bits we will still use, and this bit will go down the bottom here. Let me pop my glasses back on now. So I'm thinking this piece we can stick in now. If this comes over the edge a little bit, it doesn't really matter. 2 weeks you give me. Wow. Gee, that's probably true too. I think John knows me well. I start off, I do want it all to stay tidy for quite some time, but we will see. So I will glue that on the bottom there. So I'm trying to keep it so that it doesn't overhang down there. Now I did have some white, there we go, some white, no I don't need white cardstock, I need ivory cardstock. Let me see, I don't have a piece, so let me cut a piece. I do need a little bit for a sentiment as well. So, get my cutter, trimmer back. And I am just going to trim this at 2 centimetres. I might go a little bit wider than that, so let's go this way. And then I can cut it down to what I want. Again, put my stamp set away. So on this one, I am going to put thank you for everything. So I will get that stamp out. I'll grab a block. It's big. I'll go with this one. And again in Mossy Meadow. So just gently ink that up. Pop him down. How's that? I think with this one I will just work on two. And I am just going to flag the ends of this as well. So I'm just cutting up the middle and then going from each corner to that middle point that I cut up to. So again, cut up the middle. And then cut from the corner to that middle section. And that's just a nice easy way of flagging your ends without doing any measuring or anything. Oh, I'm trying so hard not to get things all over the floor. Okay, so that I was wanting to put up there, and one of these flowers I will pop there. But I do want this just to hang out the top. So we have cut a fair bit off the bottom of that, but if I hide it behind there, you're not going to know. And we can hang out that side a little bit as well. So I don't mind that hanging out that side. And then, don't waste anything, that little leaf that we cut off, I was thinking of putting over there as well. So what I'm going to do is just use some tear and tape, if I can find the end. And we will just pop some tear and tape on the back of that. And some tear and tape at the back of our leaf here as well. I might just have him popping out from there. Just got a little bit poking out from the back, so we'll trim him off. Okay, so the other thing I had too, like I said, I did cut out a few more little bits and pieces. So I was thinking, because we're kind of a little bit empty up here, so I thought maybe we could have these coming off, like one of them coming off the side a bit and that one just filling in that hole, and this again will cover the bases of them. So again, just a little bit of tear and tape. Do have glue dots as well, but the tear and tape will be fine because that is going to cover it nicely. And then maybe, now I've just cut out one of everything from that the dies. But I do think that will look nice on that as well. So let's go with that one. And again, just that little bit of tear and tape at the back. And we'll put that on dimensionals as well. That up there, something like that, I think. So then we've got our 3 flowers there. I know we've kind of gone even numbers, but I don't think that's going to matter because we've got other stuff happening around it as well. See, I think I like it that way better. It's upside down the other way. Okay, so what I might do is actually stick this down to the middle of our card first. Excuse me, and I am just going to stick this with glue so it's flat, because we will have some dimension on the other pieces when we get those on. How are you going, Fiona? Have you still been able to make along with me, or are you a little bit behind? I hope you're able to keep up. Okay. Maybe if it was your desk chair. 12 months, thank you. So this one here, I'm going to put there, so we'll pop some dimensionals behind that. I'm also quite conscious not to put the dimensionals on where I have the double-sided tape, because we know it doesn't stick quite as well on there. that's a good idea, and then you can decide exactly what you're doing with it. Okay. So if we pop that about there, and that one was that way, so I'll put a dimensional behind here. Good evening, Lee, how are you? And this one I just want to have just over that sentiment a little bit as well, maybe through there. So still wanting to be able to read it, but just having it over that little bit. Oh, I was going to put a bit of ribbon behind. I do have ribbon, but now that I've got everything on there, you know what? I still will put a bit of ribbon and we'll just lift this little guy off. I think we can do that without too much hassle. I was just going to do that kind of thing, so not even a bow. Just, oh, how about we do that? We might do that kind of thing. So I've kind of done a figure 8 and curled the ribbon in on itself as well. So for that, I might use some glue dots though, so that we can keep that down. So I don't have to take my finger off everything. And one underneath. There you go. Stick. Oh, maybe I need to stick them both together a bit more. Let's go another glue dot. Where did I just put them? So pop him in there, and then we can pop this back over the top. How's that? I was actually going to put the ribbon completely behind the very vanilla there, but that is okay. Oh, do you know what I've done though? I've stuck all of that on upside down. That's okay. We'll sort that out later. Was not even thinking. So gems wise, we might go one up there, one down in there, and another one a little bit up under there, I think. So that is pretty much, apart from putting it on upside down, that's pretty much our card finished. Thank you, Anita. So that is that all done. So just that little bit of colouring, and you could even go a little bit of Wink of Stella on that too. Just around the petals. Would be nice. Just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. How's that? There you go, like I said, just a little bit. So what I will have to do now, because I did muck up, is I will cut that centerpiece off and I will pop it round so it's that way. If it wasn't for the writing at the bottom of this designer series paper, it wouldn't have mattered at all. But because you've got your writing upside down at the top there, we do need to turn that around. But when I take the photo of it tomorrow, you'll see it all the right way up. So thank you. I hope you have enjoyed that. Look, do you know what? I don't think it would matter what papers you chose. You would still end up with a beautiful card. So there was another one. So that one's in the white, in the Mossy Meadow. Similar kind of thing on the front. I've just added a little bit more to this one. And I think it might have been Sarah Sayers last Friday night that sort of did this kind of thing at the bottom as well. So I've kind of taken it from quite a few people. Like I said, I just haven't had a lot of time. Well, I have been in my craft room, but not crafting much this past week. Definitely moving in. Cut the paper. Oh, and I could stick some more paper over it, definitely, but I don't want to waste that beautiful paper either. I don't want to cover it up. So I might just cut the middle out, I think. So paper shares, like I said, still have a paper share left if anyone is interested. And the same with the retreat. I reckon I've got 2 spots left. And the retreat is here on the 14th of June. So you are quite welcome to join us for that. And with the cheese. Oh, cheese and sips would look wonderful with this one. Definitely, Kim. Thank you, Renee and Natalie. The other thing is the join offer too, which I had forgotten to mention. So the join offer is a fantastic deal. It is, as usual, $169 to join, which is always wonderful. But up until the end of the month, you actually get to choose $303 worth of product. So joining after a new catalogue release is a great time to join because you have so many things to choose from. So you can order from the new catalogue, you can order from the new online exclusives, but that's not to say that you can't go to the last chance items as well and order those in your starter kit. So your starter kit is yours. You're free to order whatever you like in that. And then the added bonus is joining our team as well. So we do lots of things together. We have got Creativity Now coming up and we'll all come here and craft together for that as well, which will be really lovely. So if you're on the fence and thinking about it, just give me a call. I'm always around to have a chat as well. So thank you, everyone. I will see you all on Thursday. If my desk is tidy, but if my room is tidy, we might go around the room and I can just show you some of the storage solutions that I have found and still have been finding for my room, because I've only got, my craft area is only quite small. So as much as the room is big, I only take up one little corner of it. Because it is actually a guest room and a lounge room as well, so rumpus room. So it's multi-purpose, so like I can't take up the whole, I take up a fair bit of it, but I can't take it all up. So it'll be good to see sort of how I fit everything into a small space and have everything nice and close to me as well. So thank you, and I will see you hopefully on Thursday. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.